figure fans? It's the one and only Optibottoms coming with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new NECA Toys 2018 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as they appeared in the 1990s live-action feature film. Now, over the past couple years, NECA has slowly been releasing their 18-inch 1/4 scale versions of each of these characters. What makes this set so special is that it includes all 4 of them, but in an 8-inch scale, which for me was what I wanted from the very beginning. And despite NECA basically feeding us a line saying that they would never be able to do it, well, here they are. Now for the package, I absolutely love what they did. You got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right there. It says the figures down here in the bottom. You got NECA there. And then you got the characters in kind of a familiar pose. Well, familiar if you have this. This is the original VHS tape. And you can see by comparison what they did. They took their characters and basically positioned them kind of how they were here on that original sleeve cover. Instead of it saying the movie like this one does, that says the figures, and then instead of FHE, it says NECA there in the bottom, which is terrific. Come around to the top, and that same kind of design carries over. You come around to the side of the package, and this is kind of cool. What they did was, again, recreate that kind of image. You have Donatello coming out of a sewer. You come up here to the top, and you see a bunch of stuff, and you see Raph kind of standing there on the side. You see FHE there on the top. Instead of saying the movie, like it says here, it says the figures. You got real toys instead of VHS hi-fi. You come around to the opposite side. I'll take a look at that back section here in a second. And again, same basic thing. They have the actual figure inside of a vehicle, and then you have Donatello there at the top, and then same thing with Ninja Turtles and all this stuff. You come around to the back of the package, you have basically that same kind of recreation in terms of, well, let me scale up here so you can see that a little bit better. Very big package though, as you can see. But again, you have their figure of Leo sitting there, their figure of Raph there. Obviously, no April O'Neil because there is no April. You have the barcode right up there. This little section right here kind of is where Casey Jones would have been, but obviously they don't have a Casey Jones figure out, so you can't really do that. And then as you can see, the back of it here has several different quotes and then a bit of a read-up, which does take some elements. Like you can see, it says, "Now you can catch America's favorite green teens in their first live-action blockbuster film." Now you can catch America's favorite green teens in their first live-action blockbuster film. And it basically is the same kind of thing. It says, "Don't miss this blockbuster movie." I really do dig that. And then you can see that down here is basically a recreation of this image though. So unlike where they took the figures and recreated it, they just basically used that same art right there. And then down here in the bottom, instead of the credits, you have the people that are responsible for making it, such as Randy Falk, Trevor Zammit, etc., etc. One thing that I do absolutely love is you got approximate runtime, 95 minutes, approximate height, 6.5, or so I said 8 inches, but they're about 6.5, 7 inches in height. Really very cool. And then taking a look down here, you can see Zack Ryder is quoted saying, "I don't know if anything will ever top the movie Turtles." I'm talking any line, any company. They are just perfect. The Fwoosh says, "God, I love having these turtles. These movie turtles instantly become the best team collection from any TMNT ever." And then I gotta give a shout out here to my good buddy Pixel Dan, because he's on the top here. It says, "Never has there been a better set of action figures based on the original TMNT motion picture." So shout out to Dan for making it into the package. That's really nice of NECA to do. But I do gotta one-up you and let you know that, you know, Kevin Eastman himself, the creator of these guys, says that I am the best TMNT YouTube reviewer out there. So just had to throw that in there, Dan. But for the packaging, I know I spent a little bit longer on it. Really, that's kind of about it. It does slide open just like so, and then on the inside you have an open clamshell that fully showcases the figure. You have some more art here along the side. You got more product shots here in the back. This is a little bit more of a standard package from NECA. whereas the outer sleeve is a bit of an homage. One other thing that is really nice is that you can kind of see they printed it with like wear on there, which is really nice. You got a faux kind of crack going right there. I mean, overall, I really love the attention to detail on this package. It's terrific. But for the packaging on it, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get these guys out here and see how cool they actually are. And here we have them open up and out of the packaging. And while I really did like those quarter scale figures, at 18 inches, for me, they were too big. They just take up a lot of space. These guys are perfect and represent those characters from that movie absolutely beautifully. Now, starting off with some measurements here, it says they're about 6.5 inches or so, and that's about right. They're a little bit closer to 7 inches. All of them are kind of like that, with the exception of Mikey. He's a little bit smaller, which was even true with the quarter scale figures. They did some creative kind of sculpting on the ball section underneath the head to make them look a little bit smaller, because the bodies are essentially identical. But starting off first with the accessories, obviously all of them come with their signature weapons. I'll turn them around here so we can, well, his doesn't have to turn around. But starting off first, they do come with a little canister of ooze. Zooming in so you can get a good look at that. As you can see, it says radioactive material there. You got that nice crack. I wish there was a little bit more paint in there, making it look a little bit more detailed and give the illusion that it's an actual crack. But you got the little warning stripes come around. You can see TCRI, and then it can actually open up, which is kind of nice. A good silver paint on the entire thing. I do like that little touch. You also do get a box of pizza. Now, this was something that was given to us in the accessory pack that had the little baby turtles, and same attention to detail is on this smaller version that big one did have. You said better delivery. You can kind of lift this, and it says Tile Game Pizza, because you can't call it Domino's. You have the little coupon right there, which is a separate piece, which looks great. Whole bunch of different kind of sayings and promotions around there. Delivery in 30 minutes, maybe less. That's kind of funny. Fast delivery. You have the name on there, which is great. Again, same attention to detail, which is amazing. A little bit of kind of ugly grease on the bottom. If you did not order penicillin on your pizza, please discard right away. So that's kind of funny. And then you can open it up, and instead of what they did with the pizza before, where each individual one came with a slice of pizza, and then with the accessory set you got 4, you get the entire pie here. And you can see that it's all cut up, so you can have them hold a slice of pizza. Great detail on there as well. You got some what look like green pepper, some olives, and then again some nice detail with like some grease on the back of the box. So you can close that up. It's a little bit, it's a little less cardboardy and a little bit more paper-ish on this than that original one, but it works pretty good for this scale. And then you got a little lip right there, put that in there. I love that. I think that's a great addition to this entire set. Now, as I said, you do get the weapons with them. Also, each of them comes with individual hands. You can mix and match them, but they're kind of positioned with the other, or with specific characters. So, like, packaged by Michelangelo were these thumb up hands. Packaged over by Donnie were kind of pointing fingers. Well, not even really pointing. They're kind of like they're pushing buttons of sorts. So you do get that. By Leo, you had more open palms, which would be really good for holding the pizzas. And then these guys right here, which again are just kind of generic holding hands. One I would imagine you can use to hold a canister of ooze, just like that. So like I said, they are interchangeable, so while they're kind of packaged next to Raph, you can use them for miking and everything. They're a little bit softer of material, so as you can see, you can stretch out those fingers a little bit and get a nice grip on that canister of ooze, so that works really good. Let's take a look at a slice of pizza, see how is that. Well, that doesn't really, I mean, the thumb's kind of up on that, so I don't know why you would do that. You know, maybe, yeah, that'll probably work pretty good. So you can do something like that, I suppose. So I like that they include all these. So in addition to the ones that are on them that are designed to hold the weapons, you do get some other ones that, like I said, can be mixed and matched with the different figures. Now, one thing that's also different is that if you remember the quarter scale figures, the back section of the bandana was cloth, which was nice because it draped very realistically. If you wanted to do an action pose though, like with him kind of doing a kick or something, it was just gonna sit there. It didn't have a real nice flow to it. What they included here, remove this, is a little peg section here on the back that you can put that bandana in there, and you can see that was just kind of draped down along his shoulder bit. You can take this and plug that in there. This is a softer material as well, so it doesn't slide in all that great. You kind of have to put it in and twist it, which does make me a little bit nervous, but there you go. But you can see you can kind of flare it out to the side like that. It's a little bit more of a dramatic kind of look, and they're sculpted differently, so you can do some kind of posing in display options with that, which is nice. I really appreciate that. Slightly different, like I said, than what we got on the quarter scale one, so it makes it a little bit better in my opinion. Not that the cloth ones were bad, just I got some gunk on here that's kind of causing some issues. It's not that those cloth ones were bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it limited what you could do because you can't get a lot of dynamic action poses with just a piece of cloth that's going to just lay there and kind of drape in the direction that gravity takes it. So you can put that in there, but like I'm showing you here, it's a little bit tricky to get that in there because it is a rubbery material. So I would be cautious with this, playing with it over time. Maybe put it in the freezer, let it harden a little before you do that. And then all of them do have it, so you have one for Donatello. You can see it's in the nice purple. Leo's is a nice blue, and then really nice wash on some of these as well. Coming in to take a look at Leo's, you can see you got a little black paint thrown in there. Kind of same here with Donatello, where there's a little bit of darker purple. Leo or Mikey has a little bit of different black coloring in there, and then you take a look at Raph's, and his is just a couple different, black bits with some different kind of shades of red thrown in there, it seems like. Now, like I said, they do come with their signature weapons. For Mikey, he comes with his nunchucks. Now, you can do it one of two ways. I kind of like putting it on the back shell here. You can put it here along the side. It will fit in there if you want, but I kind of like putting it back there. It just seems a little bit normal, but it does kind of stretch this out. As you can see, this is a softer goods type material. Oh, well, okay, it is attached right here, so it's not going to completely fall off, which is nice. I like that. But you do have his nunchucks that do have a little bit of rope in the middle, and then good detail on there, but just wood. This feels like it's kind of glued, and like you can see the string here, if it'll focus. I mean, it's kind of like I said, glued there, so it's like hard, so that kind of sucks. But you do have a string thing, and then again you have the hands on there, which are done up in a kind of gripping pose, so you can get him tucking that underneath there, and a fellow chucker, eh? And then for this, like I said, I just kind of come along the side here, kind of put it down, and then just kind of slide it to the back area, just because it's a little bit easier, and then you just position it like so. So you do have that, and again, I'll go over the articulation and all that stuff here in a bit. But taking a look at Donnie's now, Donatello's, he had little straps here, and I don't think you can really do anything about it. So you can't really put it like that, but you can. Well, I guess you could maybe slot it down the back. Again, that's kind of locked in there. I mean, it works if you go there. It's a little bit loose here, so just kind of go up from the back, and you can do something like that. It's not really accurate because I think it was over this shoulder, but you can do that. And then again, he's got the gripping hands, so you can get him standing there. I kind of like this pose for Donnie, where he's kind of sitting there with his bow staff. I feel like it should be a little bit longer, but it's not bad. But let's see, something like that, where he's just kind of hanging out there. It's a very stoic look for Donatello. Leo does come with his katanas. As you can see, nice silver paint on there, black handle. Both of these have a real nice kind of attention to detail on there. And then you've got these scabbards here on the back, which are nicely detailed with some ropes, some black straps and everything. And then you just take that, put that in there, just like so. And again, you can swap out that bandana piece if you so desire. Lots of great options there. Taking a look at Raphael has his size, which again, nice silver paint for the blade, and then you've got the handle, and then like the hand guard right here, which have a kind of black paint and strapping on there, and then you can just put those right in there. He does have his little holster sections, and just play with this. Again, it is attached to the belt, is attached to the back of the shell right there, so it's not going to completely come down, but you can see that it is a little bit looser, which I do like because it lets you kind of flex things around a little bit more, because I kind of like having the size off to the side like that, which look really very sharp. Now, coming in to take a closer look at the details, starting off first here with Michelangelo. I mean, I'm, again, blown away by the level of detail that NECA is able to put in these. Originally, those quarter scale figures I thought were just amazing, and probably the best that we could ever hope to get. Scaling them down to the 7-inch scale here, though, really didn't lose much in terms of the detail. These are, without a doubt, the definitive versions of these movie characters in figure form. Now, as I showed you, you do have all of their weapons, good level of detail on this, but look at the head sculpt. I mean, absolutely amazing. You got the little kind of freckles throughout them. I love how there's a bit of a glossy look to the eyes. Mikey has that nice, very characteristic smile on his face. Great detail with the strap there. The entire thing looks amazing. Now, the heads are all different, obviously. The majority of the bodies are the exact same. So this front section, the arms, the legs, everything is pretty much the same. You come around to the back, though, the shells are different on them. Giving you kind of an example, here is Michelangelo's and here is Raphael's. You can see Raph has some more scratches and everything. Mikey here is a little bit cleaner, but you can see the wear that is on Raphael's, like with the scratches, the cuts, all that kind of stuff, kind of sculpted in there, and how Mikey doesn't have that. As I talked about, I do think that they did something similar with the head in terms of doing something in the ball joint to make him look a little bit smaller than his brothers. I mean, even teeth, great detail in there with the teeth. Just simply spectacular detail. Really nice paint wash and sculpting for the belt as well. You got that same attention to detail on the elbow pads as well as the knee pads, as you can see. And then with the legs, great striations with the muscles. The only thing that really separates the different characters obviously would be the head sculpts, but slight variations in terms of the paint. Now, taking a look at my personal favorite character, Donatello. Get his bow staff out of here. Again, basically the exact same. The only thing that you're going to really notice being different is some of the paint details. Like, for example, you can see a lot more of the little dots here on his shoulders than Michelangelo has, but the sculpt is all, from what I can see, exactly the same. Nothing changes there at all, but you can see that there is a slight difference to the shell, whereas Mikey's has a little bit finer of lines. You can see that Donnie's are a little bit bigger, but the rest of the sculpting, from what I can see, is identical. But again, a great sculpt with Donatello's head. I'm going to come in here so that we can look at that a little bit closer. I mean, that is super, super amazing. I mean, they even kind of got like his little jowl thing on the underside, but absolutely gorgeous. He's got a little bit more of a squint to his eyes, so it's a little bit harder to see, but you can still see a nice gloss in there, giving a lot of life to that. I mean, just simply spectacular. Really is. Leo has the same thing going. You look at his shell, again, a little bit different, and then different color as well, and then again different paint applications throughout the body, just differentiating, and then the head. I love that head sculpt. I really am just floored at how good these look. It literally looks like the Jim Henson puppets jumped off the screen. I mean, very stern look with Leonardo, just so very iconic for that character. And then, we'll just stay there. And then bringing in Raphael, and again, absolutely, focus here. There we go. Again, absolute spot on representation. You got that slight angry look you can see sculpted in teeth. Just and then the intensity in the eyes. Again, if it'll focus, you can see the intensity in there. It just blows me away. Now, it's not to say that those quarter scale figures were bad. They weren't by any stretch of the imagination. They were just too big. I mean, I'm a collector that has a lot of stuff. I have a very limited space, and you know, in listening to NECA talk time and time again, they constantly said that there was no chance that they would be able to do smaller versions of those, and here they are. And that's one aspect that really does annoy me about NECA. It's why I have no interest in buying anything really quarter scale from them in the future, because I feel like, at least with the Turtles, we're gonna get smaller versions of it. Like this past San Diego Comic-Con, which these are exclusives to, they showed the quarter scale Foot Soldier. I have zero interest in picking that up, because I know we'll more than likely get 7-inch versions of them. Now, I do want to make sure that I do comparisons, but I feel like it's not even fair to do. These are the 1990 movie Donatello figure from Playmates. This is silly. This kind of a comparison is really ridiculous. There's no comparing these. The color is a little bit darker. This is a little bit lighter. There's no comparison. Now, I swapped out the eyes and things like that, but I mean, there is zero comparison with these guys. Nothing compares. So, I mean, these are completely going away. I wonder if these have foot pegs. These are probably too big. And the pegs for these are too big. I was going to say that this might actually be useful, but nope. Let's bring in Leo here again. I did swap out the faces, so those are a little bit different. But really, that's what we have to, or that's what we had to compare them to before. I mean, come on. This is Playmates here. Not even worth comparing these. But I'm going to keep doing it just because. Let's bring in Leonardo. Again, real fun figure. Again, faces are a little bit different because I swapped things out. But, I mean, seriously, they got the strap a little bit right. Okay, let's finally let's bring in Michelangelo. I have him holding, I don't know what I have him holding, but it's kind of like I always used to pretend that was that bottle of turtle wax. But I mean, NECA killed it with these. All day long I can complain about the exclusive nature of these, how it's so hard for actual collectors to get their hands on these, and it's not necessarily NECA's fault, it's all Playmates' fault, because Playmates does not want to compete with what NECA can put onto retail, because they would be out on the shelves at basically the same time, and people no doubt are going to buy these and not the Playmate stuff. But this is what Playmates gave us. They should feel ashamed For the articulation, I'm just going to do it here with Mikey because it is all the same. You do have a nice ball joint here for the neck. You get a real good range of motion with that. I mean, look how emotive you can get that head moving all over. God, I love being a turtle. I mean, honestly, that's great. The shoulders only move out to about there, so it is a little bit limited, but it's not too bad. Rotates all the way around. He has 2 joints at the elbow. One thing that I will say is that these elbow pads feel like they're a little bit softer, so you do basically get a 90-degree bend with it, which works pretty good, I would say. The wrists do rotate, and then they have a hinge forward and back. The body here, like this, all the back shell, this section here along the side, and then the front is all one piece. And then you can see that the bottom section here is actually ball jointed, so you can kind of pivot that around, and I love how you can move this forward like that, and that kind of fills in, so you can have it be fully up, and then you can have them crunch, and that molding continues down to cover that out, which looks terrific. I think that's a real nice touch. No waist articulation, but you have pin hinge joints here at the hip section, so you can move them forward and back, in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. He's got 2 bends here at the knee for a nice range of motion, and then again, this is a little bit softer than those quarter scale ones, so it's a little bit easier to get it to bend and flex right around here, which is really nice. He does have ankle tilts or pivot, I don't know, forward, back, and then it does have that weird kind of angular sort of bend, so you can swivel it side to side and kind of get a wide stance with it. Let me demonstrate that. You can spread that out, get him doing a very wide stance, which looks terrific. I mean, that's quite impressive in terms of the overall display options for the guy. So the amount of detail in here is great. The amount of articulation is fantastic. NECA killed it with this. I knew that they would if they were ever going to do those quarter scale figures in a more, action figure kind of scale, such as the 7-inch figures, and they without a question did. I mean, these guys just turned out beautifully. Now, despite all the drama surrounding getting your hands on these figures, at the end of the day, collectors want the best representations of characters that they love that are available. And without a doubt, NECA has created them. Unfortunately, yes, they are San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. According to NECA, that is a restriction that is put on them by Playmates. Why they can't have a higher production and sell them on their website, I really don't know. But if you weren't able to attend the 2018 San Diego Comic-Con, they were available for a very short period of time on the NECA website. And they sold out in record time. But as I said, these are the best representations of the 90s Turtles that we have ever seen, blowing away the previous ones that we've gotten and making it very easy for me to replace those Playmate figures in my collection. NECA truly has done an amazing job with it, despite the fact that they're probably managing it a little questionably. Now these are completely sold out. You can't get them on the NECA website. I believe they sold out show-wide on Friday at Comic-Con. So the only place that you're going to be able to get these is going to be through sites such as eBay. And you're probably going to be paying at least twice the price for this. At $125, you did get 4 figures, all of their, weapon accessories, extra accessories like the pizza, the various hands, the canister of ooze, these little bits. So you did get a lot for that, and I think that $125 price point is pretty good. But all of that being said, if you're looking for these guys, good luck and happy hunting. They are well worth getting. Just be very, very smart with your purchasing and make sure you know what you're getting. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support and letting me know by hitting that thumbs up button It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, make sure you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever, it is important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to help support my channel and not miss any future reviews of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And a very special thanks to you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. And a very special thanks to all of my patrons, who through their continued support help to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.